Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news, all right. Folks, buckle up because what I'm about to tell you could be one of the most game-changing rumors we've heard in recent Steelers history. We're talking about a potential blockbuster trade that could reshape not only the AFC North, but the entire landscape of the NFL. And it involves none other than Nick Bosa, the dominant edge rusher from the San Francisco 49ers. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Is that even possible? Well, the whispers in NFL circles, especially from sources close to Adam Schefter, suggest that the 49ers might be open to trading Bosa, and it's all about cap space, rebuilding, and making some tough decisions. Let's back up a bit and look at the situation. The 49ers are currently facing a bit of a rebuild mode after stumbling to a 4-9 record and dealing with injuries to their starting quarterback, Brock Purdy, who suffered a shoulder fracture back in Week 10. That injury has thrown their offense into disarray, and their defense, which was once the backbone of their success, might be looking at a major shakeup. At the heart of this potential shakeup is Nick Bosa. The guy is a beast, a true game wrecker on the edge, and in 2025 he's been nothing short of spectacular. Through Week 13, Bosa has racked up 5 sacks, making him the sack leader in the NFC, and he's also tallied 18 tackles for loss, 4 forced fumbles, and a PFF grade of 92. That's top-tier production, even by NFL standards. And let's not forget, Bosa isn't just a one-season wonder. Since entering the league in 2019, he's compiled 62 sacks and 85 tackles for loss, earning the Defensive Player of the Year award in 2022 with 18 sacks. That kind of production doesn't grow on trees. Even with a knee injury in 2024 that limited him to just 8 games, he returned to the field in 2025 with the same ferocity, averaging around 2-1 pressures per game, comparable to some of the best pass rushers in the league, like Myles Garrett during his 2023 rampage. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The 49ers are facing a significant cap crunch, with about $15 million over the limit in 2026, and they've got some pressing needs, mainly rejuvenating their aging defensive line, which currently features players like Armstead, who is 32, and a defense that's been trending downward without Bosa's disruptive presence. They're also looking to draft a successor at quarterback after Purdy's mixed performances. 62% completion rate and 15 interceptions this season suggest they're eyeing a future upgrade. The idea of trading Bosa isn't just about cap relief. It's about retooling, getting younger, and building for the long term. But of course, losing Bosa on defense is a huge blow. His absence has already impacted the 49ers' overall defensive efficiency, which has fallen from a top 2 unit to closer to bottom tier without him. So what does all of this mean for the Steelers? Well, if the trade happens, it could be a seismic shift in the AFC North, and more specifically, for Pittsburgh. Bosa's addition would turn our pass rush into one of the most feared units in the league. TJ Watt, who's been sidelined indefinitely due to lung surgery, would finally have a premier teammate to complement his relentless pressure. Imagine Bosa lining up next to Watt, with Alex Highsmith also bringing his own pass-rushing skills. He's got 8 sacks so far this season, and adding a veteran like Cam Hayward, who's grading out at an impressive 88.4 by PFF. That trio could be the foundation of what many are already calling Steel Curtain 2.0, a defense that would be feared across the league, and the impact wouldn't stop there. The Steelers' overall pass defense, which currently allows around 7.2 yards per pass, could drop significantly with Bosa's presence. His ability to generate pressure, averaging 2-1 pressures per game this season, would give opposing quarterbacks nightmares. Bosa's win rate in pass rush situations, sitting at about 28%, is well above Highsmith's 19%, and that kind of dominance could lead to more sacks, more turnovers, and a defense that stifles opponents like the 1975 Steelers did in their prime. This would elevate the Steelers from a solid team to a true contender, especially with the AFC North's current state. The Ravens, Bengals, and Browns are all competitive, but Pittsburgh would be a step ahead with a pass rush like that. Looking at the bigger picture, adding Bosa could also heavily influence our chances in the postseason. The Steelers are currently 7-6, leading the AFC North, but their defense has been giving up around 24 points per game. Still good, but not elite. With a player of Bosa's caliber, we could see a transformation into a top-5 defense, capable of shutting down the league's best offenses. That, combined with the offensive improvements we've seen, thanks to the leadership of quarterback Kenny Pickett, who's been solid, and the receiving core led by George Pickens, makes this team incredibly dangerous. And with the potential for a more refined pass rush, the Steelers would have an extra weapon to challenge any team in the playoffs, including the Kansas City Chiefs or the Bills. Now, let's talk about the implications for the Super Bowl. If this trade goes through, the Steelers' odds of making it to Arizona for Super Bowl LX would skyrocket. DraftKings currently has our chances at around plus 600, but with Bosa in the fold, many projections suggest that could jump to plus 350 or even better. His playoff experience, including 3 sacks in past postseason games, shows he's a game changer when it counts most. The combination of Watt and Bosa could create a nightmare for even the most well-protected quarterbacks, and that kind of pressure often correlates directly with deep playoff runs. It's no exaggeration to say that Bosa could be the catalyst we need, a true X-factor that pushes us from playoff contender to Super Bowl favorite. This kind of move echoes the legendary Steelers' defenses of the past, reminiscent of the Mean Joe Green era, where relentless, intimidating defense was the hallmark of our success. Bringing in a player like Bosa would do just that, forge a new era of steel that's unbreakable. Think about it. A young, fierce pass rush that can dominate time and time again, elevating not just our defense but lifting the entire team around them. The offense, led by a more confident Kenny Pickett and bolstered by the defense's dominance, would be perfectly set up to take advantage of turnovers and short fields. Of course, there are skeptics. Some argue that trading for Bosa might be too costly in terms of draft picks or cap space, and that parting ways with such a key player could weaken the 49ers' defense. But the reality is, in today's NFL, you have to make bold moves to stay competitive. The Steelers have always been a franchise known for their gritty, tough-minded approach, and acquiring a player like Bosa would be a statement, saying that we're here to contend now, not just rebuild quietly in the background. Plus, with the NFL's cap rules and the current state of the 49ers roster, this trade could make perfect sense for both sides. In the end, this potential trade is more than just about adding a star. It's about signaling a shift in power, about the Steelers finally getting that extra gear to punch through the AFC's toughest defenses. It's about envisioning a future where the Steel Curtain once again dominates the league, where our pass rush is the envy of every other team. It's about making a playoff run that could culminate in that shiny Lombardi trophy, our 7th. And with Bosa leading the charge, I really believe we're looking at a new chapter, one that could echo through Steelers history for decades to come. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. So what do you think, Steelers Nation? Would you be all in on a move like this? Can you imagine Bosa lining up in Heinz Field, terrorizing quarterbacks and helping bring another Super Bowl home? I know I can. The potential here is enormous, and it's the kind of move that could define a franchise for years to come. The Steelers have always been about resilience, grit, and making bold moves when it counts, and this could be one of those historic moments. Keep your eyes peeled, stay tuned, and let's see how this unfolds, because if it happens, it's going to be one of the biggest stories in the NFL this season. And it all starts with the Steel Curtain getting a whole lot stronger. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Steelers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news.